Hello my good people, welcome again to our YouTube channel. My name as usual is Daniel from the Okema Empire. In our video today, we'll be discussing about whether you need an interpreter during a US visa interview. The answer may be yes and at the same time no. It will always depend on the kind of visa that you are looking for. For example, if you are looking for F1, that is student visa, and the J1 exchange visa program, in that case, you must be able to communicate and be able to write in English. So they require you now to attend the interview, communicating and speaking in English. But other visas, like the DV visa, in this case, you may or you may not have an interpreter, and if you need an interpreter, you must tell the embassy in advance that you have a problem speaking in English, and they will tell you whether they have their own interpreter or you come with your own interpreter. If you come with your own interpreter, it should be someone recognized by the government. You cannot bring your family member, a friend, or a workmate to act as your interpreter. So in this case, it's a complicated issue when it comes to the DV lottery. That's why in most cases, when you are filling your application form, you must have indicated your qualification, whether you have high school diploma or you qualified through work experience. In most countries where they speak English, they expect you to be able to communicate in English during your DV lottery. But if you are not able to communicate in English, you must have an interpreter, as I've said, or if the embassy provides an interpreter, they will always tell you, you must communicate in advance such that you get the necessary documentation to allow your interpreter to be allowed into the interview, into the embassy compound. So without it, no one will be allowed to enter through the gates to the interview room without official appointment letter to that interview room. So just know that when you are filling, you are able to tell them that you do this and that's the communication that they have, and it still stands. So make sure that before your material day for the interview, if you are not communicating in English, and if your documents are in a different language apart from English, make sure that they are translated to English or Spanish. Some of the embassies, they allow English and Spanish as official language for the US embassy. So make sure that you translate them before you go for your interview. More especially your Form 4 or your high school diploma must be translated into English, the language most of the consular officers understand. So friends, it is so important that you get this point before you go for your interview. I know some embassies, they always interview in French, but you have to tell them in advance that you will be using French or another international language in your interview before you are allowed in. And even if they have interpreters, they cannot provide interpreters for every local language or native language that is spoken in that country. So at least they will provide interpreters for the official language or the national language that is used in that country. At least you will be able to get some few or many people in that. Unlike when you say you don't even speak your national language, you speak your native language. So that one will be a problem to the consular officers or immigration officers, and you as a person to get a person that you will pay for that services as an interpreter during your visa interview. But if you can speak some English, it's good that you present yourself as a person and answer the questions the way they will be asked. They are not so difficult. When you go to interviewing questions, they are direct, something that you will be able to answer. And if you are not able to understand, you always ask the consular officer to repeat some of the questions in a slow motion for you to understand and respond. So you should not be worried about it. Get that point before you go for your interview. Otherwise, that's what I prepared for you in this video, and I hope it finds you good and in good health as you listen and watch this video. Thank you guys. As I always tell you, I appreciate our old subscribers and those who have already subscribed to this channel. Those ones who are yet to subscribe, please consider subscribing, and by so doing, you make us grow as a family, and we get the energy and the encouragement to come up with more videos to for us to learn and educate you. Thank you guys, and may God bless you all.